Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Stacy Kellums, and I want to welcome you to this week's training session. And as usual, I've got a doozy lined up for you this week. I've got my good friend Zack Childress on the phone today, and he's going to be speaking to you today about his automated offering machine. And let me tell you, the stuff you're going to learn today is going to blow your mind. Okay. As you can see there on your screen, Zack's going to talk to you about how to make more offers, how to do more deals, and how to make more money with his automated offering machine. Because Zack is, I've known Zack for a while, and I'll tell you a little bit more about him here in a second. But he is just, he's absolutely amazing. He's all about doing deals. Okay, I know you've heard a lot of people say in the past that it's all about the leads. You got to have more leads. You got to have more leads, and that's not necessarily true. In order to put money in the bank, you've actually got to do a deal. And what Zack is going to share with you today is he's going to show you how you've been making this too complicated. If you haven't done your first deal yet, it's not your fault. Okay, you've been shown a complicated way of doing things. And what I love about Zack is that he can bring things down and bring complicated things down and make them really simple to understand. Okay, he's a master at taking the complex and making it simple, and he's also a master at getting in and creating systems and automating things so that they can run on autopilot. In fact, we were just talking before the training call a second ago, and we were actually talking about our real estate education businesses, not necessarily our real estate investing businesses, but as he was showing me some things that he's doing in his real estate education business, some metrics that he's tracking. And I've been actually doing a real estate education business a little bit longer than Zack, and he just showed me some things I never even thought about doing. So he's been teaching me, and we haven't even started the call yet. So if he can teach me, then I know that he can teach you. So what I want you to do is I want you to get a pen and paper right now, because we've got a heck of a training session for you today. You're going to be learning a lot of new information. I want you to be able to write it down. I've got my pen and paper ready. I want you to shut your doors. I want you to turn off all the distractions. If you're surfing the web, stop, and pay attention to what Zack is going to be teaching you today. And I want to tell you a little bit more about Zack. Zack has been a real estate investor for 14 years now. He currently invests in 6 different markets across the United States. Okay, he started out in California, and if I don't know that there's a much harder market than California to get started. So if anybody can make money in California, then they can make money pretty much everywhere. But Zack is really what we call a virtual real estate investor. At any given time, Zack has between 20 and 30 properties under contract to wholesale to other investors, okay? And he's going to show you how he does that. And if that number blows your mind or scares you a little bit, don't. Remember I said, if you're just now joining us, Zack is the master of taking the complicated and making it simple to understand. And that's what he's going to share with you today. He's going to share with you why you haven't done your first deal yet because you just think it's too complicated. He's going to break it down into simple, easy to understand steps, and then he's going to show you exactly how not only does he make it simple, but he automates it so that he can have 20 to 30 properties under contract at any given time all across the country, well, at least in the 6 markets that he's currently in. So we've got a lot of information to cover. Again, get your pen and paper ready. Oh, and by the way, if I haven't said this already, Zack's going to show you how he can do this how you can do his real estate his way with his automated systems using none of your own money or credit. Okay, so if you don't have any money or credit, if you think you're going to need that, you are not. Okay. It doesn't take any money to put a property under contract and then wholesale. And that's exactly what Zack's going to show you how to do today, and he's going to make it simple, simple, simple. So without further ado, Zack, are you on the line today, man?
I'm here, Stacy, loud and clear, my friend.
All right, awesome, man. I'm super excited, and I'm absolutely serious, man. You were showing me stuff a second ago. Again, it was pertaining to our real estate education businesses, not necessarily our real estate investing businesses, but you showed me some stuff that I hadn't even thought about tracking, man. That's what I love about you. You really do. You're like the master of system creator. You're the master system creator. You like to get in there and create systems and spreadsheets and track all that stuff. But You do it, when you showed me what you just showed me a second ago, I was like, holy moly, why didn't I ever think of that? It's so simple, and you're great about that, man.
Well, and that's part of what this training is going to be about. Is I'm also going to, kind of what I shared with you, I'm going to share with them how we do the same thing in our real estate business using, a technology that actually helps us know where that data is, and so we know what our success rates are when we go after deals. Because remember, I'm not really interested in all the whiny leads out there. I'm only interested in people who want to do deals, and so I'm going to help them understand that concept this evening.
All right, fantastic. Well, I know you've got a lot of information to cover. Are you ready to jump right in?
I'm ready, man.
All right,
I'm good to go.
All right, let's do it.
All right. Okay, well, listen, once again, welcome everyone to the call. I'm excited to be here. I'm excited Stacy brought me on because I'm going to do two things in this training call, I should say. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm really going to open your mindset to really kind of get you guys to understand that you don't have to be in the day-to-day grind of your business to succeed at it. And then the second thing I'm going to do in this entire training with you is I'm going to show you how literally simple real estate can really be. And the problem is that so many of us overcomplicate the whole process. And so those are some big things I'm going to help you guys overcome. But really what we're going to focus on, the whole, I guess you could say the umbrella behind this, is how to start mass marketing your business and automate the entire process. And that's the key here. So like I said, my name is Zack Childress. I'm a real estate automation and real estate investor. I am all about trying to find the most efficient and most effective way to get as many deals in that I can then turn into profit with doing as little amount of work as possible. Wife says I'm lazy. I say I'm efficient. So that's kind of a little bit about me, obviously, getting started there. But here's what we're going to cover and you're going to learn today, okay? Number one is I'm going to walk you through how to find truly motivated sellers. Not just motivated sellers. I'm not interested in just motivated sellers. And there's motivated sellers everywhere out there. But we want truly motivated sellers. And what is a truly motivated seller? I'm going to explain that to you as we keep going, okay? Also, how to automate all of your offers and follow-up offers. See, what you don't understand is that there's actually more money made in the follow-up offer than there ever is in the original offer. See, we all get excited. We go out, we send a couple of offers out, and then nothing happens, and then we get sad. And then we say, oh, this doesn't work. It's not where the money is. The money's in the follow-up offers. And so I'm going to show you how efficient you can be by automating that. I'm also going to show you how to manage and track all your offers on autopilot. That's big for you. Why is that? Because so many of you want to be an investor, or maybe you are an investor right now and you're just struggling, right? And what does that mean? That you're struggling because you're trying to wear too many hats. You're trying to go out here, be the marketing arm. You're trying to be the person that makes all the offers, plus be the person out in the field working on your deals. And the reality is that's just not working for you because you're really an employee to your business. So I'm going to show you how to manage and track all your offers on autopilot, because that is probably the most efficient and most productive form of your business, is getting the offers out there and getting enough of them out there. And I'm going to do that by showing you a system that will allow you to work smarter, not harder, when you follow what I'm doing here. And the ultimate key to this training is I will eliminate 90% of your daily paperwork right now. And by the end of this training call, I will show you exactly how to make 100 offers in 10 minutes or less with automation. See, the first time you do this, you will take about 10 minutes to make those offers. And listen, if 100 offers scare you, I get it. Let's use 10, okay? It doesn't matter. Whatever number fits your need. I'm going to tell you, though, but the more offers we make, the more deals we'll get and the more money we'll make, okay? But the first time you do it, it might take about 10 minutes. But then you'll start to get that down to 7 minutes and then 6 minutes and then 5 minutes, and then you'll get it down to about 3 minutes. But I give you 10 minutes for your first time. But at the end of this whole thing, the key is I'm going to turn your investing business into an automated marketing system. That's what I'm really going to do for you guys here this evening. So why do I say that? Because what's the most important thing about any business right now? It's marketing, right? Marketing is the most important thing. And so if we know we have to have marketing, and then we can build a system around that marketing platform, but then I can help you automate that system in marketing. What have I really done for your business at this point? Think about that. What I've really done is I've exploded it. I've taken it to a different level. I've helped you actually do your first deal. I've helped you start to do more deals per month. I've allowed you to be free. That's what it really boils down to. So listen, Stacy did a great job of telling you guys a little bit about our relationship, and so for a lot of you, you have no idea who I am. And by the way, my name is Zack Childress, for those of you that are just joining us. And I'm okay with that. I'm not the cool kid in the room, and I'm not trying to be the cool kid in the room. I'm just a guy that has gone out and built a very successful real estate investing business with nothing. Literally, I started with nothing, and I built it to what it is today. I mean, like, for instance, right now I've got 7 rehabs going on. I'm leaving this evening, and I'm going to go and close on a property tomorrow, which is 3 acres of land I'm going to build a small subdivision in. I mean, I am active in this business, and I'm constantly moving to make this work more and more efficiently. But, obviously, I didn't just fall into this, right? I grew up in a little town in Alabama, a little place called Blunsville, Alabama. Population was about 1,200 people. And the biggest dreams and aspirations that people had living there was they wanted to go work in a chicken farm. And that just didn't excite me at all. I had no interest in chasing chickens around and making $7 an hour if they were even paying that much back then. So I knew I was definitely meant for something else even then. I just didn't know what it was yet. So I was obviously seeking a journey in life, and part of that journey started with my mother because she was a single mother, raising 2 boys, and we were financially challenged, as my good friend Stacy once said in a room that I heard him say, and that model is so interesting because here's the way I see it: is once you say to yourself you're poor, you've given up on life. Once you say, listen, I'm financially challenged right now, well, in my mind, what that says is that you know that you're low right now, but you're going to work your way out. And so that's where we were. We were financially challenged, and my mom was doing the best she could. And she just didn't have any true direction for us. She just could tell us what. She could tell us she loved us, and she could tell us that we could do anything we wanted in life. And to dream big, because if we didn't dream big, we would never have big goals in life. And so I thought I was dreaming big, and I'm not saying that I was, but I used to watch this movie all the time, and it made me want to become a bartender. And so I moved down to a place called Panama City Beach, Florida. I don't know if any of you are familiar with that place, but they also call it the Redneck Riviera. But I did. I went down there. I became a bartender all because of this movie right here by Tom Cruise, Cocktails. And yes, that is my big old head on his little bitty body.
Nice.
But my mom said dream. I watched that movie and I thought, man, that's what I want to do. I want to sip on Mai Tais and hang out on the beach and, live that lifestyle. And so I did. And I'm not going to say I regret any minute of it. I will say that 7 years of my life went away from me because you don't realize how, you get caught up into that lifestyle. And, bartending every night, sleeping all day, bartending at night, sleeping all day. And but the beauty of it is the gentleman who owned the restaurant that I was working at, a little restaurant/bar, he was from Laguna Beach, California. And this thing was right on the beach, and he flipped restaurants for a living. That's what he did. He would come in, he would buy them, fix them up, get them ready to go for 2 or 3 years, and then he would sell them off. And so I really, got to know this gentleman very well. I'll never forget him for the rest of my life. His name was Lad Penfold. He made a big impact on my life. And I started becoming really good friends with him, almost like a mentor. And so I started talking to him, he started getting to know me, and he saw I was a big dreamer, and he said, well, Zach, what direction in life are you going in? I was like, I don't know. I just want to be a millionaire. And it was like it had no common sense to me what I was saying then. I just want to be a millionaire. In reality is you can never just be a millionaire if that's all you say is I want to be a millionaire. I mean, obviously there has to be passion and drive to reach the goals that you want in life, which then creates the financial gain you want. And he kind of helped me understand that. And so he said, well, listen, what do you love? And I was like, well, I love real estate. I love being involved in. I love building things. And he pointed me to California. And so what did I do? I packed up everything I owned. I could write a country song about it. And I packed up everything I owned, and I put my dog in shotgun, and I jumped in my pickup truck, and I headed to California. Why? Because I was looking for a change. But the key was I got out there, and I got introduced into real estate. Not ordinary real estate, but I got introduced to creative real estate investing. That's what I got introduced to, and it changed my life forever. And why do I say that? Because literally, once I got started with it and they introduced me to the idea of wholesaling and lease options and rehabbing and buy and holds, and I thought, man, this is amazing. I was like, so let me understand this. You know, I don't have to go out and get loans and all this to go buy and hold properties, and I don't have to go get loans and to do rehabs. They were like, no, they had us start as wholesaling. They were like, wholesaling is the foundation to build the capital you need to then go and do some rehabs and to go and buy and holds. And so it was what we call the ABCs of real estate investing. A, always be wholesaling. B, because it leads to rehab. And C, it creates cash flow. A, B, C. And so I stuck to that. I didn't get all excited, or I didn't get all sidetracked from all the other, 101 ways out there to invest in real estate. I just stayed with a formula that worked over time. I mean, it just consistently worked over time, which was wholesaling, rehabbing, and buy and holds. And so that's how I built my business to what it is today. With wholesaling is like an engine for us. It just pumps money into our business that we use that money and we go rehab with. And then the money we make from the rehabs, we go buy and, we buy cash flow real estate with. So that's kind of what happened to me in my journey. I will say I was 6 months into this business. I'd left my job. I was full-time. I've been blessed ever since. I've never looked back. I've always been a real estate investor ever since. And so that put me where I'm at today. And so where am I at today with you guys? Well, I've been a licensed California financial lender in the state of California for funding real estate. I've owned an investment company now for over 7 years. I've owned a wholesaling company for over 7 years, and I actually own and I am the president of the only RIA in northern Alabama. And so, why do I tell you that? Because I want you to know that I'm very passionate about educating people on how to succeed in real estate. But the key is, I want you to read that bottom there, is I'm a marketing and segmenting expert. That is the key to the success of any real estate investing business. See, the concept of what people have failed to realize is they go, oh, well, I want to go do this, and they just run and go out and do it. Well, they don't truly sit back and understand what marketing is and what market segmentation is, because, see, that allows us to really understand, and we're not only understand the data that we get, but we're able to understand what type of marketing to do in each segment. See, where most people just run out and do marketing in their cities, they're failing miserably, because we need to know each segment of our market so we know what type of marketing to do in there. And then we can start to build out matrices. We can start to build out what our marketing matrices look like. What are we sending? How many clicks? How many call-ins? What is our call-in ratio? What is our, close ratio? What is our, how many dollars are we earning? What is, which marketing piece are we getting the best results from? So therefore, we can turn around and dump all of our money into that one marketing stream, because that's where we're getting the best profits from. So that is a big part of why I have succeeded as a real estate investor, on top of all the automation that I'm going to share with you. So guys, I've gone on to write many, many books about investing, and from how to get started to how to make quick cash, how to build a business, what's working in today's market, to branding, everything you can think of. But here was where I really got caught up into this, because I thought that I was only teaching new investors. That's all I thought I was teaching. And what I found out is that I really wasn't teaching just new investors, because I did a 4-day event, and I had this gentleman sitting in my room, and his name is Daryl Jones, and he's out of Miami, Florida. And at the end of the event, he comes up to me and he says to me, Zach, I'd like to introduce myself to you. And I said, okay, that sounds great. I was like, I'm Zach. Basically we went through the whole, who each of us was. And he goes, I've been here for 4 days with you, and I just think you should know who I am. And obviously I was like, uh-oh, who is he? Did I pay my taxes?
Oh, yeah.
I'm thinking, yeah, my wife better sit that tax bill in. But it wasn't anything like that. And he goes, listen, I was an officer in the military. He goes, I got out of the military and I became an attorney. And he goes, and then I went on to then I went on to be a politician for the state of Florida. And he goes, and I helped write the short sale laws for the state of Florida. And I was thinking, whoa. Like, I was literally breathtaking it for a moment, right? And I didn't know whether I should salute him,
he's
shake
the
his hand,
dude
or
we
give
have
his
to
autograph.
blame for screwing up short sales.
What's that?
I said, so he's the dude we need to blame for screwing up short sales.
Right. And but he was there learning other things.
Yeah.
But I never would have thought that this was the type of student that I would have been teaching. And just so you understand what he said, Zach, you're a person that knows what's going on in the industry, and you stay ahead of the power curve. You're absolutely amazing, and I recommend you to anyone that is in the real estate industry and is serious about getting things done. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I share that with you because I don't care where you are as a real estate investor. If you're brand new or if you're seasoned, I will show you some things over the next 45 minutes or so that will absolutely help you catapult your business to the next level. So let's get started. So what do all these companies have in common, right? I mean, they all have something in common. They have several things in common. Well, obviously we know what. They're all branded, right? We all know who they are. We recognize who they are. The other thing that we know is what? Is they have systems in place, right? The other thing that we could elaborate on systems is that they automate as much as possible, correct? And this is what makes them franchises. See, what makes them a franchise is the fact that they have the ability to define what their SOPs are, standard operating procedures. And they can build systems around those. And then those systems they can then automate, which allows them to run efficiently without the owner being involved on a consistent basis. That, my friends, is what it's all about. Because at the end of the day, you have to be marketing just like these companies do. But if you don't have systems and automation in place, then you're basically being an employee to that business. So let me tell you about the first system I ever did. We call it the $1 Million Flowchart, and I'll explain why. I was sitting at the coffee table one morning with my wife, and we were about 6-7 months into our business, so we were full-time at this point. And, we've been working really hard. I had a full-time job. I was working full-time job, working the real estate business in the evening. My wife was doing a little bit of work and then working real estate leads also when she could. And so I get where you guys are. I mean, I've been there. It's been a little while since I've been there because I've built my business up, but I know exactly where you sit because I've been there. And the key is this, is understanding that at some point you have to recognize that the business is going to go with you or without you, and you got to jump on board, and you got to be able to recognize the opportunity when you hear it right now. And so my wife sat down with me, and she said to me, she said, Zach, I want to go on vacation. And I said, well, that sounds great. I said, I'm excited about going on vacation too. Why don't we go away for the weekend? And she said, oh, no. I thought, okay, well, let's plan a week away. And she said, oh, no. I was like, well, babe, what do you want to do? You want to go away for 2 weeks or 3? She said, no, I want to go on vacation for a month. And, guys, I about fell over and kicked myself in the head, slapping myself silly with my tongue. I mean, I was totally thrown off guard with that. I mean, I'm thinking, a month? Who in the world goes on vacation for a month? But I said that out loud. I thought I was thinking it to myself, but I said it out loud. And I was like, who goes on vacation for a month? And my wife looks over at me. She said, well, you told me when we started this that we'd be able to take vacation whenever we wanted.
Oh, wow.
And I said, well, you got a good point there, babe. I said, well, I don't know if we have the systems in place to be able to leave, right? Because I built this whole business around me. And that was the number one mistake that most investors make, is they build the business around them so they can never remove themselves from the business. So she gets up from the table, she walks away, and she turns back around to me, and she says, if anyone can figure it out, you can. She leaves. Left me holding the bag, right? So I started thinking about this, and I really got pissed off, to be honest with you, because I did get into real estate to really build a financial wealth and to build freedom in my life. And here I was sitting with this real estate business going, but I had no freedom, right? I had no freedom. I was stuck in the business. And so I was really getting pissed off about this and upset about it because I realized that I had blocked myself into a company and I had built the company around me. And so that was a big challenge. And so this was when everything changed for me. I said, I'm going to go figure this out, and I'm going to figure out how to remove myself from this business. Well, obviously my wife was going on this vacation, and I was supposed to go with her. so I went out and I started putting all this together. And I said, okay, I need to find motivated sellers. But the problem is a motivated seller is no good. And see, that's where most of you make a huge mistake, is that you just go out and market for all these motivated sellers, and it's no good. They don't. A motivated seller is somebody that is just thinks they're interested in selling. They're not truly motivated yet, right? And so I knew I had to take all these motivated sellers and turn them into truly motivated sellers. And the reality was I am not a therapist. And if any of you have ever spent any time on the phone talking to these seller leads, you realize all you are is an underpaid therapist. That's it. I mean, it's draining to say the least. And so I had no interest in it. So I had to figure out a way to automate that. And so what did I do? I figured out that if I could take all these motivated sellers and I could get an offer in front of them, then I could decipher who is motivated and who is truly motivated instantly, right? Because they would accept my offer. Very simple. We call it keep it simple, silly, right? Don't overcomplicate this. If you really want somebody and you really want to know who's motivated, simply put an offer in front of them, and if they sign it, you have a truly motivated seller. So I spent a lot of time automating that process, getting the offers out there, pre-screening them, following up with them to where I didn't have to be in the picture. And so this was beautiful. And then the next thing that came up was the fact that, okay, well, now what? They accept my offer. I'm golden now, right? Well, if I'm going on a 30-day vacation, that seller's not going to wait 30 days for me to get back. So I simply had to figure out a way to get them over to my buyers list. See, when I first started, I only had about 2,000 buyers. Well, now in my business, I have over 60,000 buyers nationally and internationally on my database. And so this is a benefit that some of you will be able to take part of, and I'll talk about that a little bit later. But I was able to then turn right around and say, okay, well, if the offer gets accepted and I'm out of the country, how do I get that offer to my buyers? Well, I realized one thing, right? I needed a system. I needed to outline a detailed SOP, standard operating procedures. I needed to outline that in detail. So I did. I put together an entire process of it, literally like what that assistant's supposed to do from top to finish, literally from what websites to go to what to ask, to how to research it, to how to log in, and how to do this, and how to get in front of the buyer, and how to take that buyer, and then how to turn that whole deal over to a closing office. And so I did that, and then what I realized is that I could hire a virtual assistant to do that, pay them $3 an hour, $4 an hour, and they would literally do all the work for me as long as I could give them a specific roadmap, a specific standard operating procedures to make that happen. So we did. You know, I'm excited at this point, right? I'm thinking I got this figured out. Well, wrong. I still got to get it closed, right? I mean, that was the big part, was to get it closed, and I was thinking, well, if I'm out of the country, how in the world can I get this thing closed? I mean, guys, this hung me up for probably a good month. Well, I was having lunch with a good friend of mine who owned a Coldwell banker in California. And he said to me, we were talking about closings, and he said he had star agents that were closing like 9, 10 deals a month. And I was like, man, how do they get to all those closings? And he said, they don't even go. I was like, what? He was like, no. He was like, there's a service out there you can use that will actually coordinate all your closings for you. I was like, get out of here, man. What is it called? And write this down, guys. It's called a VCC, Virtual Closing Coordinator. So at this point, I was extremely excited because I was like, all right, so I figured out all 3 of the functions. This is my 4th one. So now I had to finish out my SOPs for my VA, right? Okay, now when you market to the buyer and the buyer says yes, do this, this, and this to get everything to the virtual closing coordinator. Boom. They take all of it from there, and they close the deal. The beauty of it is they only get paid if it closes. So, guys, where am I at in this entire procedure right now? I'd be anywhere in the world, right? And that's exactly what happened. I took me and my wife. I went back to my wife. I ran back to my wife, and I said, babe, I got this figured out. And she said, I knew you would. I've already planned the vacation. So the moral of that story is that she was going with me or without me. So,
she was going one way or another.
That's right, man. She was taking that 30-day vacation. So, but here's the beauty of this, guys. I went to a little place in Mexico. I don't know if you guys might be familiar with it or if you've ever been there, but it's called, it's a little place called Pueblo Bonita. It's in Mazatlan, Mexico. And beautiful place, 5-star resort. I mean, the most luxurious time of my life. And here's why. This was the absolute best 30-day vacation I'd ever taken in my life. Now, be clear, it's not the only 30-day vacation I've ever taken, but it was the best. And you know why? Because this vacation right here proved to me that this was the lifestyle I deserved. It proved to me. Was I nervous? Was I scared? Absolutely I was scared. I was absolutely scared because I didn't know what was going to happen, right? I built this business up. Now I'm going on a 30-day vacation. I didn't know if I was going to come back and it was going to be crumbled. But I was willing to take a chance. I was willing to take the belief in myself that I knew what I was doing and that I had trust in myself and systems and processes enough to know that I had things in order. So I left, went with my wife, went down there, and we had a blast. I mean, I was literally being really sneaky, right? I mean, I would, like, go out and check my email. I'd ask her, hey, do you need a towel? I'd run up, check my email. Hey, do you need any lotion? I'd run up, check my email. So I was being really sneaky about it.
Nice.
So about 3 weeks in, we hit a deal. My VA emails me and says, hey, I got a deal. I did everything you told me to do. I sent it to your buyers. The buyer's interested. Now I'm going to send it to the virtual closing coordinator company. 2 days later, a virtual coordinator company emails me back, says, Mr. Childress, we have everything we need. When you get home from vacation, you'll have a check in the mail for $27,316.
Nice.
So, ladies and gentlemen, that's how you know you figured something out right there. That's how you know when you struck gold. I was sitting on the beach with my toes in the sand, watching the sunset, sipping Mai Tais, making $27,000 on vacation.
Now that's living the life.
That is living the life. I tell you that because it's the exact same thing that can happen to you. You just got to be able to understand the opportunity when you hear it right now. So the key is this, though. I figured out how to make it, but I was really poor at keeping it. I went and told my wife. And she said, first thing she said is, have you been working? And I was like, no. So, but then she says, well, you know they got a great diamond district downtown. So needless to say, she came home with a nice, beautiful ring. But she deserves it. She deserves everything. So anyways, I figured that if I could figure this out, and I'm just a little guy from Alabama that basically dropped out of high school and, didn't have really much going for himself. If I could figure this out, anybody could figure this out. They just needed the right person to show them how to get there. So I started sharing with people. And what I found is a lot of people had some fears that were basically preventing them from actually doing anything with the business. So we started asking and surveying, what was it that we helped them overcome that allowed them to start doing deals? And here was some of the common threads. Number one was filling out the paperwork correctly. They weren't even making offers because they were intimidated with the paperwork. Let me tell you right now, rest assured that you won't have to worry about filling out any paperwork with us. We do it all for you, okay? Number two is what if my offer gets accepted? Oh, no, what am I going to do now? Right? So,
exactly.
But here, understand this. I'm an investment company through and through. I have more buyers that I can feed deals to. If you actually make the offers and it gets accepted, trust me, we'll want to hear about it. Why? Because that's what we do. Okay? I'll explain that a little bit later. So how do I know what the ARV is? After repaired value, most people wouldn't even make offers because they weren't sure. Well, let me tell you, we work with our students. We give them a direct access into a data feed that will literally pull data at the same places title companies pull data from. So they know exactly what to do, and where to make the offer at. The other one is who's going to help me with the deal, right? All right, I got this thing now who's going to help me? Let me tell you something right now. If it's a deal, we're here. We're absolutely here through and through. I want you to stop for a minute and think about something. If you could start your business fresh or over again or just, restart right now. But this time you could start your business connected with an investment company that was there, true blue, through and through, and has been tested and proven and stayed its ground over time to be here today, do you think that your business would be able to get somewhere a little bit faster? Of course it would, right? Of course it would. And that's exactly how we help our students, okay? The other one is where do I get the money to close? Listen, we love closing deals. We do short-term funding. We do 6-month funding. We do 12-month funding. We even have a new program now we're working with students on that does 5-year funding for buy and holds. So that became a definite eraser of a fear factor for students. And the other one is where do I find buyers for my deals? That was another huge fear. They were like, well, I won't even make offers because, I don't have any buyers to wholesale it to. Well, let me tell you something. If you knew that you had a buyer pool sitting there waiting with national and international investors, would it make your life a little bit easier to start making offers? Of course it would, right? We understand where you are. Here's a great deal that I got, okay? This was a little case study. So this was a duplex out in California. I never even saw the house, wasn't interested in seeing it. I was going to wholesale it. I don't have to go out and touch, feel, and smell every house I wholesale because the buyers are going to do that. We knew there was landlord buyers in this market because that's our targeted buyers list. So we started making offers on these properties. We got this when it was originally purchased at $425,000. We got it under contract for $195,000. Now, guys, in 3 weeks, I put this deal together with a landlord in the area, and in 3 weeks, I was able to turn around and put a check in my pocket for $30,000. $30,000 in 3, that's $10,000 a week. That's $500,000 a year. Is anybody okay with that?
Absolutely. That's how you get rich right there.
That is, baby. So listen, I'm not here to bore you to death. I know you all know it's time to buy. You can look out your neighborhoods and see that, right? But I want to share with you my top 5 motivated sellers, okay? These are my top 5 motivated sellers. These are the ones that when I'm making offers, I make offers on these properties, okay? I go after what we call REOs, which are on the MLS. I go after short sales only on the MLS. If an agent has it, I go after it. I go after age listings. I go after vacant and non-owner-occupied properties. I go after motivated sellers on the Internet also. Now, here's what I will tell you. You have to make offers on these or it doesn't matter. But here's what else I'll tell you. If you've ever tried to go after REO properties, I get it. Agents can be a pain in the you-know-what trying to get you the right deals you're looking for. So I teamed up with a buddy of mine, and we said, listen, we're sick of this. So my systems mind and my process mind and his coding mind came together, and we were able to literally lay out a process so that you guys could literally walk in with a few clicks of a mouse, pick your city, pick your county, pick your price range, pick your discount that you're looking for properties at, and then just hit search, and it would literally go out to the bank's inventory and pull their inventory right into your inbox. Isn't that nice? Never have to deal with an agent again. Okay, that's super powerful. The other thing I did was I was noticing myself, one, and my staff was getting caught up into this whole black hole that the Internet provides, right? The Internet has mastered the art of sucking you in and spitting you out only when it's ready. So when we go searching for stuff, the problem is we search and we search and we search, and next thing we know, we're 4 hours into it, and we're looking at something else that we didn't even start searching on. And so my staff was doing the same thing. So we figured out a way to design a process to where we never had to go to the Internet again. We could tell it what area we wanted properties in. We could tell it what keywords we're looking for and what websites to scan on a regular basis, and it would pull all the motivated sellers off of those websites into our inbox. And it would do the same for buyers. It would go on the Internet and find buyers for us, and then it would spit them into our inbox, and all we had to do was call them up, make the offer, and then attach sellers and buyers together. Now, if that's not making your life easy, I don't know what is. Let's keep moving, though. I'm going to get to that in just a minute. So what do we do with them? Well, I'm a wholesaler at heart. Why? Because wholesaling is what allowed me to be who I am and what allowed me to get where I am in life. And so that's a big part of my role and a big part of my business. And so, but the idea is this, is that as I use wholesaling to get into rehabs and buy and holds, because I'm ultimately building wealth here. I'm ultimately setting up my retirement and setting up my children's retirement. And to do that, any deal that I don't want, I wholesale off and I make money because it's literally the fastest way and the quickest way to put cash in your pocket today. It's simply through what we call wholesaling or quick turning, or what we call simple flips, which is where there's no actual close and remodel done, okay? And so for those of you who aren't very familiar with it, I'll give you a quick breakdown. It's where we simply make an offer on a property. If the seller says yes, we then go to your buyers, or you bring that deal to my buyers. We pull a buyer to the table. The buyer says, yes, I'm interested. We have that buyer sign what's called an assignment agreement. It's a one-page document. He pays what's called an assignment fee. I take half that fee, and I give you half that fee. And then that buyer closes, and we both shake hands, and we say this was a great business partnership. So that's kind of how it works. And so let me kind of walk you through some other processes that I have said that if I was to start my business all over again, here's the 7 key steps that I would do to start making quick cash again in any market, even today's market. So all 7 of them are right there on your screen, and I'm going to break each one of them down right now for you. So number 1 is all about co-wholesaling, okay? It's all about co-wholesaling. And this was really how I started my business. It was how I got off the ground and running because, you know, the lady in front of the stage said, oh, you can do this with no money and no credit. This is the way to go. And I said, oh, my word, that is me. That is me through and through. So what they failed to leave out was that every business has to have capital to run the business for marketing, tools, systems, things like that. Well, I didn't even have that money, okay? I was literally on a credit card that had about $200 a month I could use on it. So that limited me to the amount of truly, I guess you could say, marketing components to go after sellers and buyers here. And so what I was able to realize is I only really had enough money to market for one strategy, and that was going after sellers. So I thought, well, how am I going to get rid of them? So I started going around town and finding other large wholesalers in the market like myself right now. And I went to them and I said, hey, listen, if I bring you a lead of a seller who's ready to go and you put a buyer on it, can we split the proceeds? And they all told me no. They said, we'll give you 20%. And obviously I was not very happy with it, but I took it because, you know, any money was better than no money. But it was how I built my business, was really through the co-wholesaling model. And that was where everything grew, and that was where I started working with my own students even more. So see, guys, I started with co-wholesaling, and I still do co-wholesaling to this day if you fast forward 9 years later. And that's how it all comes to be. It's a full circle of where people supported me, now I support other people, because it all boiled down to who had the buyers list, right? And so I did this, and I started working with everyone, just like I'll be working with some of you on this. And so, but I realized very quickly what? I needed buyers. Like, I knew that right away because I got tired of giving up the lion's share of the deal. So I started going out building my own buyers. I started looking for what's called non-owner occupied properties. These are all landlords, and I started building a massive landlord buyer database. Why? Well, 1, because they would pay more for properties, and 2, they would come back and buy over and over and over and over again. And so that was really what I was looking for, more of a repeat long-term customer. And the other thing is when all the cash buyers started drying up in the marketplace, landlord buyers came out in the woodworks, man. They were just like everywhere because they were okay with the long-term holds. They were okay with buying today, putting a renter in today, and waiting 5 years, where the cash buyers were interested in what? Flipping now, and we know what happened to the flipping market. So I started building all that. I started going to auctions, finding buyers there, looking, for other wholesalers that would split 50-50 with me, and that was a big part of my business. And so a lot of you, will obviously have the advantage of working with my investors, which will help you get started, just like Rick did. And Rick, Stone Street was out of the East Bay of California, and Rick's whole goal was he wanted to, increase his financial status because he was in the ministry work, and he wanted to do more outreach in the community and so forth. And I met him at Aria, and he was just a great guy. I mean, he really was, and had a true heart to himself. But he was a little standoffish. He just didn't know, which was going to be the right system for him and so forth. But he got involved like everyone eventually does. And here's what he said. He said, this rocks. I'd looked at other systems just to come back to yours. Yours is truly the only system I needed. The software has revolutionized my business, and with your system and your partnership program, I was able to get my first deal done in under 60 days. I just put $9,000 in the bank. you're helping more people than you know. Well, guys, that's a great thing. When you know that you're not just helping the person in front of you, but you're helping maybe them help other people, that's when it's truly, passion-driven. Number 3 is I would need to be able to analyze the deals, right? Because if I started all over again, I need to know that I can analyze deals. I may not have the same resources that I have today. And so before I analyze any deals, I'll just tell you there's 3 ways I look at all deals, and it has to have 2 of these 3 for me to move forward. So number 1 is I look at the deal, can I wholesale this deal and make quick cash right now? Number 2, I say, okay, well, if I had to hold it, could I rent it and make cash flow? And then number 3 is I say, okay, well, could I fix it up and sell it retail in the marketplace? So I look for 2 of the 3 so that I always have 2 exits and never 1. And then I would start analyzing the deal, right? And so I would use services like Zillow and Cyber Homes and ePraisal to do that. Now, a lot of you say, oh, well, Zillow doesn't work. Well, let me just kind of help you understand something. The Zestimator doesn't work because the Zestimator takes the averages of all the sold properties in the system. That could be 1,000, that could be 3,000 properties. But Zillow still works. You actually have to click on the property, go over on the right-hand side, scroll down to look for sold properties that were similar. Click on that, and it'll open up the entire sold data for that area. And then start looking at, radius around the property, bedrooms, baths, square footage, to find 3 or 4 properties that are very similar to the property you're trying to sell. And that is very accurate data, okay? So then I realized that, if I had to do all this over again, well, some of the students would have to do the same thing to get started. So we were getting deals from students, or what they were calling deals, and they really weren't deals, and they were sending them to us. And so we got a little bogged down, to say the least. And so that's why obviously we have to limit the amount of people we work with. But we were able to streamline the system a little bit more, okay? And so what does that mean? Well, we did it with these simple-to-use spreadsheets. And so we put these together where they can only enter data in the fields that are available to really know what to offer, how to offer on a lease option, how to offer on an investment property. And the best part is that if they fill this data out, when they're completely done filling in the blanks, a big box pops up and it says deal or no deal. So we make it literally dead easy for you to understand whether you should send it to us or whether you should keep following up on the property. If it says no deal, you want to keep following up on the property. Well, then that leads me to number 4, which was that you need an automated follow-up system, right? Because if we're going to keep following up, that's where the money is made, okay? And so you want to follow up on all your offers you make. You also want to adjust the price on all your follow-up offers. This is crucial. And you need to be able to build these relationships with these clients and these agents in your market, and you'll do that by following up because you'll show that you're a serious buyer in your marketplace to be able to make this stuff happen. And that helps you find great deals, just like this 3-house package we found out in California. This 3-house package was a seller who was very motivated, and we had sent an offer in once and then twice, and then the third time they were like, we're done, we're motivated, we're not getting any offers, take this offer. So they reached back out to us and said, we're willing to accept your new offer. Now, that was on the 3rd offer, guys. I would have never gotten this deal if I did not follow up on the offer. We turned around, we wholesaled all 3 of these deals to a landlord investor in the marketplace, and we put a check in our pocket for $79,459.
Boom.
Yeah, right? Boom. That was in 4 weeks. So if $10,000 a week didn't excite you, how about $20,000 a week? Now that should excite you more than anything else because that's what it's about, the follow-up, okay? So number 5 is another powerful thing I would do if I had to start over again, and that's use a cover letter on every one of my offers. And why do I say that? Because of this. Because when you're making offers, you don't have the time to call every single seller or every single agent and say, hey, look, I'm making this offer. It's because of this, to help justify your offer. So what we found was that we saw a 300% conversion rate from offers going out to phone calls coming back simply by putting the cover letter on the offer. Now, the 3 things you want to know about the cover letter. Number 1, it needs to tell them who you are and what you do. okay, and give plenty of contact information. Number 2, it needs to justify your offer. And how does it do that? Well, because you break down why your offer is based on what it is. So in our covers letters, they all say, based on the offer I'm offering, here's why I made the offer on the following conditions. The rental market is X minus what my mortgage payment would be on that potential price I'm offering at. Minus my taxes, my insurance, my maintenance, my management fees gives me an estimated yearly cash flow of Y. And so what I've done there is I've justified to them that I'm not just making a low offer, but I'm making the offer because of what the potential cash flow would look like. And then number 3, it basically turns sellers or agents into bird dogs for you because it says, P.S., I would love for you to let me know if you have any, or here's what it says. It says, P.S., if you or your seller cannot accept this offer, I completely understand. Please keep me in mind if you need to close quickly and need to close with cash. I would be more than available to submit a new offer for any new property. So we're turning people into bird dogs on a compounding effort. So imagine if you're sending out 40 or 50 of these offers a month all through automation because you're not doing the work, and then you're building these bird dog teams. They're just bringing you deals every single month, and then next month you build more, and the next month you build more, and then the next month you build more. You've got a herd of people out there just sending you deals, not leads. Remember, deals, because you told them you were looking for people who wanted to sell quickly for cash. So you're getting deals. I am not interested in leads anymore. See, one of the biggest things is people ask me all the time is they say, Zach, how do you get away from the leads into the deals? Well, simple. I throw all my leads into a system, and like a churning machine, the offers start going out, and the only people that come back to me are people who accept my offer or want to counter my offers. So in essence, I'm only dealing with the deals, not the leads. So number 6 is I would need a management system again if I had to start over again. The only difference is I'm not looking for some big fancy CRM system that's going to run a business if I don't even have a business to run. I want to manage the only thing that's important to me, and that is the actual offering process, okay? So I could have a system that would keep up with the last offer I made on each property, so it would keep track of the last offer date so I know when that was made and how much, it was made for, and how many offers I made on each property. Basically, I would want to track and keep up with the matrices on all my offers, when they're going out, how many was going out, when they're getting accepted, so that I can start to see in each area where I'm getting the best results at, and I can focus my attention on those specific areas. And number 7 is I would always start mass marketing for motivated sellers again. And how do I do that? I do the cheapest, easiest way of marketing, and that is making offers. That's it. I make as many offers as I can to pull the low-lying fruit out of the market to make as much money as I can with as little amount of work. That's my goal in life, and that should be your goal, right? I mean, we want to get as many deals as we can without spending a ton of money on marketing, without, going out here and talking to 10,000 sellers or 1,000 sellers in hopes that one day you're going to get them to accept your offer. It's so much easier just to put the offer in front of them. Just put the offer in front of them and see if they say yes or no to it. It's that much easier. You got to make the offers to make it work. And that's just like Bo, what we had to teach Bo. Bo was, a struggling investor. He was struggling. He was about ready to quit. And, he made like maybe 7 offers in the last 2 months when we talked to him. And I basically just had to tell him, listen, man, you're never going to get anywhere in this real estate business if we can't get you making more offers. The bottom line is, in real estate, if you don't make offers, you don't make money. It's just the way it works. You can educate yourself to death, and you can go to seminar after seminar after seminar. But if you don't stop and start making offers, you will just be another seminar junkie out there, and then you'll be another case study at the end of the day, and that is not at all where you want to be, and nor do I want you to be there. But if you do like Bo and you just listen to what we tell you to do, everything that we say will come true for you too. He said we started making more offers and we started getting deals. Using your system has changed my life. In 60 days, I was able to earn $18,000 flipping houses, and that was enough to quit my full-time job. All I can say is thank you, thank you, thank you. Now let's be clear. I can't guarantee you any earnings here. I can't even tell you that you're going to go out and be the most successful student I have. But here's what I can tell you. That if you make offers, you will absolutely start to get more deals. That is a proven process, okay? If I can get you making more offers, I can get you making more deals, okay? Because right now, you might be drowning and you don't even realize it. Your business might be sinking. You might be trying to figure out why in the world you're running out of money and you haven't done a deal yet. Well, I get it. I get it. I've been there. My students have been there before they started working with me. I get it. We've got to get you on speed. We've got to get you on track. We've got to get you moving forward right now. We've got to get you looking for the opportunity that you hear right now to be able to help you out of the mess you're in. And I understand. So the question is do you want an automated deal-making system in your business? That's the question, right? Well, with your permission, I'd like to show you the system that helped these investors that I just showed you, and it can help you, too, to do this process, okay? So I got to give you a disclosure. What I'm about to show you requires no experience. If you can answer your phone, you can do this. And it requires very little time to be successful. It is as easy as paint by numbers if you remember that, if you're old enough, because that's why we love what we've created for you. We call it the secret weapon. Why? Because it attracts truly motivated sellers, not motivated sellers, but truly motivated sellers, because it's going to automate your offering process and it will give you your life back. If you want an unfair advantage when it comes to finding these motivated sellers, then this is the tool for you. It'll literally make hundreds of offers on listed properties and more with a click of the mouse. The system will do all the work for you. We call it the automated deal maker. Why? Because it will automatically start to do all your offers for you. It'll send them out by email or fax. It will know which one to go to. You receive the phone call, your call center receives the phone call, your agent receives the phone call, whomever you want to take the phone call. And then you choose your buying strategy, whether it's buy, hold, lease option, wholesale, fix, and flip. And the deals are managed through the automated deal maker. That's the best part about this. And then the properties are sent to your buyer's list or our buyer's list, and the property gets sold. Your business makes money. We make money if it comes to our buyers. Now, understand this. You don't have to send it to our buyers, but obviously we would love for you to. And then you repeat, rinse, and start the cycle over again. And that's literally how easy it works. It's just an automated system to help you get more deals and not leads, okay? That is not the goal here. We made it with 6 easy-to-use buttons. 6 buttons, that's it. Okay, so let's walk you through how easy it is to import properties into the system, all right? So step 1, we browse, we find our import list, we bring them in. Once it's into the system, we basically give it a name, and then we start the campaign setup, okay? We set up the campaign name. We tell it what time we want the offers to go out on. And then we tell it what date we want to start the offers on. And then we simply tell it what cover letter to pick. So whether we're going after for sale by owners, whether we're going after commercial real estate, lease options, REOs, agents, even short sale cover letters are in here if that's your strategy. And then we pick our contract. And on top of that, we pick whether we want to send out a proof of funds letter with the offer, an addendum with the offer, a copy of our deposit check with the offer, or maybe a picture of ourselves with the offer. We can even pick an agent if we have an agent representing us or not. We can pick whatever agent we want. And then we can go right down here. We can pick the discount. We can say, listen, I want to make my offers at 60, 65, 70% of offer, and then I can control it even more. But look up here in the top right corner real quick. You see that blink, blink, blink button? On every single page, you will find a need help button. On every page. You click on that button, and literally it's a video of me walking you through exactly what to do on that page. Is that sweet or what? Absolutely, right? No having to go look up in a 500-page manual to figure this stuff out. It's all done right there through video. Now, guys, this is cutting-edge software. There's nothing like it on the market. Why do I know that? Because I built it just for you to help you get more deals and not leads. But I want you to pay very close attention because here's what we've done. We've actually built in an automated follow-up feature for you. Yes, you heard me right. We're following up on every one of your offers. You don't have to do any of the work. You just simply tell it what you want it to do. The beauty of this is that you can tell the system, hey, every 14 or 21 days, I want you to send out a new offer. And then you can say, I want you to do that 3, 4, 5 more times. And then you can even tell the system, hey, raise or decrease my price. And the system will automatically think for you. It'll remember to send out a new offer. It'll remember to send out a new cover letter. It will even remember to raise and decrease the price. So it will recalculate the contract, and it'll recalculate the cover letter if you're using our proprietary cash flow cover letter. Now, understand this, that the system is a brain of its own. So it'll think for you, but you can also control how many deals you want. What do I mean? Because you can tell it, hey, I only want 10 offers to go out on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays, or I only want 1 offer to go out a day, or I want 100 offers to go out every single day. You control the who, what, and when. That's why this is cutting-edge technology. Now, I want you to understand that the money is in the follow-up. That's where the money is, just like Kevin and Susan said. Kevin and Susan were hard-working parents, and they had 2 kids. Sad part is they just never could get to them. They could never spend time with them. They were working 60, 70 hours a week, and she was working like 50 hours a week in the nursing industry, and it was just a struggle to say the least. And so they were looking for a way out. They wanted to be more involved and be more present with their children's lives. I mean, think about that. That's what we need. Children grow up, and they grow up quickly, and if we're not present, with what they're doing, so they know who we are and what we are, and they know that we're there to influence them and lead them, then really, what did we do for our children? Nothing. And Kevin knew that right away, and so Kevin knew that real estate was the key to getting where he wanted to be, which was to allow, a part-time second income coming in so that Susan could be a stay-at-home mom. And so Kevin came up to me, and I was at an event, and he comes up to me, and he grabs me, and he says, Zach, I just got to tell you something. He goes, your system's absolutely amazing. And I was like, well, what happened? He goes, man, listen. He goes, I had the system. I turned it on just like you told me to. And he goes, about 3 weeks later, I got a call from an agent that said they're willing to accept my new offer. He goes, the best part is, man, he goes, I didn't even do anything. The system followed up for me. It recalculated the offer for me. I mean, he was like, what a great investment we made with you and your system. We're now in escrow to close, which they did close that property. And the best part about this whole story is Susan is now a stay-at-home mom. Now, isn't that life-changing, guys? That's what it's about. The children now know who their mom is. The children now have an influenced person and leader in their lives, somebody to be present, to be around them, to guide them, to make sure that they grow up and be, healthy, strong, integrity, and loving, adults. And so that's a powerful, powerful statement from Kevin and Susan. So let me dig into the system here real quick. We're going to go under View Properties. Once we're inside View Properties, the key here is that you have a search engine in here. So we can actually search for any property that's in the system, and it'll bring it up for us so that we can drill down into the property. We can add a property inside here. This is really like a main control panel for the inside of the system. We can even go in to view our campaigns in the lower left corner there, and we can see, we can resume them, delete them, we can see if they've been scheduled or completed. But the other thing is we can actually drill down inside of a campaign, and once we're inside that campaign, we can see exactly how we had it set up, from the time, the dates, the cover letters, to the discount price, to how many contracts are going out, to how many follow-up offers, are we increasing or decreasing the offer. We can even pause the campaign. Now, why would I ever pause a campaign, right? Well, it's very simple. I had a student of mine come up to me at another live event, and he comes up to me and he says, Zach, turn this thing off. And I was like, turn this thing off? What do you mean turn it off? I thought it was broke, right? I was like, what happened? And he was like, no, I'm getting too many phone calls. I can't take all the deals that are coming in. So if you get too many deals, you can simply come in and pause it, right? And then once you catch up on all your deals, then come back, unpause it, and let the offer start going back out again. But we also built in a tracking system so we could track how many offers we had made on a property and what the last offer price was for that property and the last offer date was on that property. So we could actually track everything that was going on with that property so that we would know at what point were they actually, accepting our offers. And then from there, we go right into user settings. And in user settings, it's built so that we can put in our own financial clauses and our own special clauses. We can add anything we want to put in here to give us the security that we need to make sure that we can stay in the deal or get out of the deal if we don't like the deal. And so that's for your security right there. We also inserted and added to the system a contract attachment feature, so you can insert any proof of funds letters, which, by the way, we'll give you, and then you can add any addendum you want to put in there, a copy of your earnest money check, maybe a business card, or maybe a copy of yourself for all that I know. I mean, you might want people to see who you are, but we also have the ability to insert your signature in here as well, so when it goes out. Now, we did take it a step further, and what we did was we realized that there was a lot of people who were working with agents that worked with us. And so, and I'm perfectly okay with that, not to say that you have to, but I'm perfectly okay with that. Well, we wanted to protect the agents that were working with us also, so now we have a buyer-agent signature file. So why is that? Well, if I'm working with an agent on a campaign and they send me some properties, I can pick that agent, so all their information populates on the contract, and then their signature goes out. Why? Because now the agent is representing us. If I'm doing it on my own, I don't pick that agent. And then, guys, with a click of a mouse, literally, you're done, man. I mean, that's why I said it takes 10 minutes the first time. After that, you can get it down to 4 to 3 minutes. And you're done. Your offers are going out. Your marketing is being done. People know you're a buyer, and you're just getting deals now. People are countering you. They're accepting your offers because you're able to get more offers out than anyone else in your market. And, guys, you could be sitting on the beach sipping on Mai Tais, running your toes through the sand, listening to the waves crash in and the sunset drop, sitting on the beach somewhere. And this system will continually run and look for deals for you while you enjoy your life. That's the beauty of this system, is it doesn't require you to be present in the business anymore. It allows you to be present in your life moving forward. So what type of deals are you going to get? Well, here's the best part. You're going to get all types of deals. You're going to get commercial deals. You're going to get wholesale deals. You're going to get short sale deals. You're going to get buy and hold deals. You're going to get fix and flip deals. You're going to get all types of deals. You choose your income stream, not me. I'm just here for one reason, and that's to get you guys out of the Flintstone ages and get you more into the Jetsons and get you caught up and to remove you from your business and to give you some tools and leverage so that you can actually grow this business not around you, okay? That's the biggest thing I can tell you. So what will the system do? Let's just recalculate here, okay? My system will find truly motivated sellers and automate the entire process. How does it work? Well, the system calculates the offer for you. It not only calculates it, but it'll fill out the contract for you. It'll fill out a cover letter based on a cash flow analysis. And then it'll send it by email or by fax. You don't have to worry about any of that. We host all the servers and the faxing for you. Then it will what? It will remember to personalize everything specific to the property, specific to the seller. And then what will it do? It will remember to follow up on everything. So it will follow the sequence you tell it to, so you don't have to tell it to do anything else once you set it up the first time. And the best part is, guys, is it's web-based, so there's nothing to download. If you've got an iPhone or an Android phone or a MyPad or an iPad or whatever they're called, you can run this business from that device. That's the beauty of what we did. Now, I want you to meet Dave Seymour. Dave Seymour is the new star of A&E's hit show, Flipping Boston. And this guy is a madhouse when it comes to rehabbing. Now, Dave got this with A&E this year sometime. Now, I knew Dave years back, about 3 years ago when Dave first came to us and we met Dave, and he was a rehabber, right? And he was out on the job sites rehabbing all day. And the problem that he faced is that he just couldn't get enough deals coming in because he was out there rehabbing. And he wasn't able to stay in the office and do all the marketing and everything that goes along with it. So I said, well, listen, we can help you with that. You know, we have a system that you can turn on. It'll make all your offers for you while you're on the job site, and all you need to do is pick up the phone. And he said, I'm in. And here's what he said. He said, 1, 2, 3, and I was done. You said get her done, and I did. I call it the Zack attack. I can't thank you enough for your system and guidance. I was able to go out, put a property under contract after implementing your automated system that you taught me. I was able to streamline my entire business and avoid all the unmotivated tire kickers. My phone rings off the hook now thanks to your system. How about that? One thing I knew for sure was no leads meant no business, which meant no money. Problem solved thanks to you, Zack. You the man, Zack. Dave Seymour from Boston. And guys, if you haven't watched the new A&E's hit show, Flippin' Boston, you need to go watch it. It is absolutely hilarious. And we're a driving force behind his system right there. So here's Michael. I want to introduce you guys to Michael real quick because I'm just going to talk about his ROI. Michael got involved with our system in October of last year, and he did his first deal in December, he did his second deal in January, and then he did his third in February. Now, how is that for an ROI? He made $18,000 just on his first 2 deals alone. He said, I'm happy to report that Zack's system worked for me, and it will certainly work for you. Guys, if you think about it, what I've showed you here today is really the art of co-wholesaling and how you could co-wholesale with us. You become one of our students, you've got an entire built-in buyers list ready and waiting for you. I walked you through analyzing and how to have those spreadsheets to help you do that, automated follow-up features that our software does, how to have powerful branding cover letters each and every time and personalized with our system, how to have a management system that will literally manage the most important part of your business, which is the offering process, and how to mass market your business at the least amount of cost there is out there, which is simply sending offers. But what I really shared with you here today was how to work less and make more money. That's what I really shared with you. Listen, the amount of offers you make is a direct reflection of how much income you'll earn this year. It's just the bottom line. That's how it works. There's no way around it. You make more offers, you will get more deals, and you'll make more money. The problem is you don't have the time to be able to do it all, or at least the level that you need to. And if you do it all, you don't have the time to remember and track all your follow-ups. And the money's in the follow-up. See, I put all this together because I was really looking to not just be free in my life, but to also have the flexibility that I wanted. See, it's one thing to say, oh, well, I want to be free, and that's fine. You could say, I am free. I'm free from my job. I'm free. But the reality is are you flexible, though? See, freedom and flexibility work hand in hand because you might think you're free, but if your business is just holding you down, are you truly flexible? And do you have the flexibility to do whatever you want? See, that's the misconception of most business owners. They feel like they're free because they left their job, but they go open a business and all they become is another employee to themselves. So guys, you have to be able to be efficient, and you have to do that using technology and automation. Now listen, I get it. I know a light bulb has gone off for a lot of you, and I respect that. You see the power of what we can do for you because this is truly a business in a box if you think about it. Because we're not only giving you the technology to be able to make sure you get deals in your business and not leads, but we're supporting you with all the buyers that you'll ever need. We also have the funding background for you. We also have other technology to help get more leads into the system to then turn them into deals. You could call us a franchise. You could. But in essence, we would have to limit the amount of people that could work with us in the avenue of certain geographical locations. And our belief is this, is that we know that we shouldn't limit anyone from being successful. And so I want to open this up to all of you to have the opportunity to do what we're doing. Now, we'll tell you as we move forward, there are some functionalities that we can't offer to all of you. But all of you will have the ability to be able to use the software to help your business do more deals than you've ever done before. Because you can do this part-time or you could do this full-time. It would be completely up to you. Now, I want you guys to meet Ezekiel Martinez. He was out of Texas. He was down in the San Antonio market. And he said, Zack, I closed my first deal today. Attached is the HUD-1 and the snapshot of the property address from your system. He said, your system definitely works and it's worth the investment. I got my first deal in under 30 days. I purchased it at 33 cents on the dollar. I have 5 other properties under contract right now from a campaign I sent last week. I have had to hire 2 realtors to take all the flood of calls and negotiating. If you read below there, he says, thanks, bro. Buying rounds of Patron shots and Coronas for all my friends this weekend. A toast to you, my friend. Hey, that's what it's about. Here's his HUD-1 statement. He bought it from Bank of America, 33 cents on the dollar. Now, the question to you is could you visualize yourself? Just imagine knowing that you have a powerful, proven system that's been tested and proven over time at your fingertips, and now you can use it. So why do you think so many smart investors are using our automated deal maker? It's simple, right? At the end of the day, they only use it for one reason, and that's for the money. The checks, the checks, the checks. They want to get paid. They wouldn't use something if it wasn't working. And I want to offer you the same ability. Let's make some money together. Let's put some deals together. So I want you guys to meet Chris Horton out of Birmingham. Chris was an inspiring minister, and he had to have a job, and he was doing ministry on the side, and he wanted to leave his job. And he said, Zach, with your automated system, I did it. I walked out of the attorney's office with a check for $28,500. I have been working on this deal less than 2 months, and in my view, $15,000 a month is not bad for my first deal. I don't know if I could have completed this deal without your help and support. I'm quitting my job next week. Thank you. That's what it's about, guys, being able to help people quit their jobs. That's what I want to do. Here's my success formula to life, okay? I want you to write this down. ROI plus ROT equals ROL. What does that mean to you? That means your return on your investment plus the return on your time, right? What are you investing in right now, and how much time is it sucking out of you? And how much are you spending away from your family and friends? Because at the end of the day, it's all about the return on life. That's what it is. Because how great of a life are you living right now? And how great of a life do you want to live? Because really, at the end of the day, guys, do you realize that we're all meant to live an extraordinary life? We are. There's no reason we shouldn't. It's really up to us. We have to be able to act on the opportunities that we hear right now. That's what we have to be able to do. We have to be able to be visualizing where we want our business to be by simply knowing that the opportunities that we act on, that we hear right now, will get us to where we want to be. Because those opportunities are right in front of you. Just like mine was my wife and family. That was my biggest opportunity to really build upon. I wanted to go out and succeed and build all this, to travel the world and see exotic places with my wife and, go to places I never dreamed I would ever do. I'm just a little guy from Alabama that, dropped out of high school. I never dreamed I would be where I am. But obviously, some things changed. The good Lord obviously had a different direction for me, and I was awake enough and conscious enough to hear that opportunity when it was in front of me right now. See, my wife loved to ski, and we'd go skiing anywhere, and I knew that, I had to be able to do this, and now I can do this, and what a great life it was. I loved boating, and every year I'd take all my friends on vacation and my family on vacation, go to places that we've always dreamed of seeing and hanging out. And why do I do that? Because I can't. I mean, literally in 2 weeks, I'm taking all my employees on a cruise, right? Because I can and they can't. That's why I do it. And down there in the bottom right corner, I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but you'll notice that I went back to school. I went back to school and finished my bachelor's degree with a 4.0 GPA. Now that I did not do to go work for someone else. I did that because I didn't want to leave anything unfinished. So yes, I did end up with a degree. I don't really use it, but I got it. But at the end of the day, you got to know why you're doing this. My biggest why is this little girl right here. It's that little girl and my wife. That's why I do everything. And I got a little boy on the way. So I'm very blessed. I got a little boy coming in August. So I got a little girl and I got a little boy. And everything I do is for them. That's it. I work and I build and I go out and do real estate. And I do everything for them. And I also make sure that I don't work more than 10 to 20 hours a week so I can spend the rest of the time with them. Being part of their life, growing up with them, seeing them, progress and helping them and guiding them and being a leader for them and inspiring them and just being present. You realize that has more power to a child's life than anything else, is being present. And the problem is so many of us are caught up into this whole work lifestyle that we're not present with our children. And then we wonder why they get crazy and they go do these crazy things. Well, we have to be present. They have to know we're there. They have to know we're part of their lives. They have to know, without a shadow of a doubt, that Daddy and Mommy will always be there and they're not working all the time. That's why, if you have children, you should be doing this right now. Guys, what would you do with an extra $30,000 or $60,000 right now? What would you do? Would you pay off bills? Would you go on vacation? Would you quit your job? You know, what would you do? Because here's what I want to know. How would you like to work alongside me and my team to make this happen for you? How would you like to do that? If that's what you'd like to do, then I'm all on board with you, okay? I want to help you succeed too, just like I did Eugene. Eugene said, when I got Zack's training, it saved me time and increased the number of deals I did this year. He was handwriting hundreds of offers each week. He was a 10-year vet. He said, I highly recommend Zack's training to new investors and seasoned investors. Here's Joseph. He said, with your partnership program, he goes, I made an extra $80,000 thanks to your partnership program. Guys, that's what it's about, having someone help you get where you want to be. He said, you've not only helped me financially, but also mentally. I now have time to spend with my family. That's what it's about. Guys, to win the race, you have to start first. Believe you can win, and with the right tools and training, you will win. So who wants to be my next successful partner? Who wants to be it? Because you got to want it upstairs before I can help you. Because if you do, then I've got the missing piece to your puzzle right now. I can help you get where you need to be, and I can do it literally faster than anyone else can. Why? Because I'm not a book, tape, or CD here. I'm not that. What am I? I am a implementation deal finding program. That's what I am. I will make you implement this stuff, and I will make you get deals. If you do, and listen, if you just want to keep buying courses and never do anything, I'm the wrong person to work with. But if you're tired of buying courses and you're tired of not doing anything and you're tired of going to those seminars after seminars after seminars and you're ready to start actually putting some deals together, then let's get serious here and let's talk about the Automated Dealmaker membership, okay? So here's how it works. We hold your hand to get you started, all right? We give you lifetime software updates for free, so you never have to worry about a 2.0 or a 5.6 or a 9.8 version from us. We give you training videos that you can watch at any time. It's like looking over my shoulder to get you where you need to be. The ability to send hundreds of contracts each and every month if you want to. You could send 2 a month or you could send hundreds. It's your choice, okay? We give you all the cover letter templates that we've written. We also give you a custom cover letter editor so you can write your own cover letters. We give you the ability to upload any attachment feature, and you get the ability to pick your membership level so that you know where you want to start. There's no contracts with us. It's not like it's mandatory, okay? We give you a dedicated support staff. It's lifetime. Access to my support team. We have a support center. You have tons of Q&As in there. You get easy ticket answering services, and we're a live 9 to 5 business operation, okay? Listen, the Automated Dealmaker software could easily be an investment of $4,000 all by itself. I know it could, right? Because what if all that system did at that price was over the next 30 days help you get one deal that made you $10,000? Would it be worth it at that price? Of course it would, but that's not what I'm going to do, okay? Because we know one deal would pay for that. We know that's what would happen because we're not a lead gen service. We're a deal gen service. We're only generating deals. That's all we're going after here, okay? So listen, if you're ready and you're ready to get started now, then I want you to go to Webinar with Zack. Or you can call 866-592-2429 and just press extension 1 if you want to talk to somebody live right now, okay? Or remember, you can also go to webinarwithzack.com/Stacy. But you want to get involved with this because I've got some bonuses that you don't want to miss, and I can't give these out to everybody because this has more personal attention from my office, and so you got to be careful about whether you get in on time or not. So take action right now. Listen, guys, you can start at any level you want, 200 contracts, 500 contracts, 1,000 contracts. This is not like an ongoing thing. You turn it on, you turn it off whenever you need it. It's just based on how many offers you want to send per month is what you pay for, okay? Listen, my mega bonus is my free lead generator. You heard me talk about this. It'll literally go out to any of the websites you tell it to go to, and then it'll pull out all the motivated sellers inside those websites. Fixer-upper, must-sell, short-sell, must-sell, need-to-sell, motivated seller. It scrapes the internet completely for all these motivated sellers, dumps them right into your inbox, Because then it turns right around to the same market that you're looking for all these motivated sellers from, and it goes out and finds all the buyers in those markets too. So look, grandma needs a home, 3-bedroom, 2-bath needed, need a home in April, looking to buy a home in Natomas. So it's all right there. It's a one-stop shop to get that in there, okay? Also, I'm going to give you access to my REO mining software that I partnered up with someone else. I can only do this for the first 10 of you, and I'm only able to waive the initial $3,000 setup fee, okay? So you need to jump on this. 10 of you will have access to this, all right? So what does that do? It goes out to the bank's inventory. It pulls down their inventory, what you're looking for, what price range you're looking for, what discounts you're looking for, so that you have an immediate access to the inventory. So if you want these mega bonuses, you need to go to webinarwithzack.com/Stacy, or pick up the phone and call 866-592-2429 extension 1 and get somebody on the phone. Listen, the fastest way to make the order is to go through the website. I'm telling you right now, that's the fastest way to go, because what happens is the phone lines get bogged down. You'll get, if the phone lines are bogged down, you'll get our answering service, but then we'll have to call you back. I'm telling you, go through the website, get in right now, and make that a reality. So let me go through everything you get right here, okay? You're getting the automated deal maker, the custom covering branding cover letters, the step-by-step training, the quick start training videos, the unlimited access to my team, the lifetime instant software updates. You get membership of 200 contracts as low as $29, realtor attraction system, lifetime licensing to the automated deal maker, plus the lead finder, which will find buyers and sellers, which you can then put into the system, which will then turn those leads right into deals for you. It's well over $9,000 in value. I know that, I believe that, and I stand behind that. If you went to my website right now, if you just say you found me online and you wanted to just be part of our family and you wanted to get our offering software, you would pay $2,500 just for that piece of technology. You would. No questions asked. That's what people pay. But I'm not going to do that for you. I absolutely will not do that for you. I think that it's a valuable relationship, that you guys are Stacy students and I'm friends with Stacy. So what we're going to do is we're going to kind of give you the behind-the-door price point here, okay? So you can get started with us for $9.95. That's 3 softwares that you get for $9.95. You can take action on that. Take it now. Start making easy money right now. Go to Webinar with Zack. That's webinarwithzack, ZACK.com/Stacy, STACY, or pick up the phone and call us, 866-592-2429, extension 1. If you don't get somebody on the phone, it's because we're already on the phone with somebody right now. You might want to revert back over to the website because you don't want to miss these bonuses. Listen, if you've never done a deal before, I've got your back, okay? This was Abe. He had never done a deal before, and he wrote us and he said that, hey, using your easy-to-use automated system, I'm now wholesaling properties and the checks keep coming in. I have 22 properties under contract, and I'm looking to have several more close in the next couple of months. He said, I was a bit intimidated to jump into negotiating, contracting, and selling properties, but rest assured with your system, all the work is being done for me. Money is no longer an object in my everyday life. Guys, this is why we do this. Bonus number 1, I have to limit this, okay? This is for the first 10 of you. Partner with Me program. Fast track to success. You bring a deal to the table, we'll find a buyer, and we'll co-wholesale that deal together. It's priceless. I have no idea how much we'll make. If we make $20,000 on the deal, I'm going to give you half. I'm going to keep half. It's a 50-50 split. Okay, bonus number 2 is my automated lifestyle manual. I outlined in detail everything we had to do to go on that 30-day vacation, the very first one. And so what I did for you is I put it in an entire manual so you could see yourself what you need to have in place if you wanted to take that 30-day vacation as well. So I gave you that. So that's a $300 value by itself. Bonus number 3 is my Virtual Assistants Training Manual 2.0. This is literally the SOP process that I was telling you about, that walks your virtual assistant or your assistant through everything they need to do from start to finish, to finding them, to analyzing, to offering on them, to finding a buyer for them, to marketing for buyers, to getting them closed, to working with a closing coordinator. The entire process is all laid out right there in the Virtual Assistants Training Manual for your VAs, okay? That's an $800 value by itself. Bonus number 4 is my it's my Real Estate Success Training System. It's a 30-day step-by-step video training process. So over the next 30 days, you're going to be part of what we're doing and keep doing it. We're going to cover the 4 profit centers, marketing, who to market to, negotiating with sellers, building your buyers list, setting up your business, analyzing the deals, wholesaling systems, and working with your virtual assistants. That's a $900 value by itself. Plus, I'm going to throw in bonus number 5, a targeted buyers list marketing strategy, so that you can I can train you how to go build the same buyers list that I built and how to build yours so that you have $1 million buyers list. That's an $800 value by itself alone. So what you need to do is you need to get started right now. The best time to get started now is now. So go to webinarwithzack.com/Stacy or pick up the phone and call 866-592-2429 extension 1. Now listen to your time. When you go to the website, if you have a box that pops up and it says bonuses are gone, then there's nothing I can say. All I can say is I'm sorry now, because that system recognizes after 10 orders go through, it pops up a box. You can still get the software, but you just won't be able to partner with us, and you won't be able to get all these bonuses I just talked to you about. So go now, go right now, and go to that website and get involved right now. Here's why you should do it, too. If you have any hesitations, I've got a better than 30-day guarantee, okay? I've got a 6 months get your money back guarantee, no-brainer bonus, right? We'll credit your entire setup fee when you go out and do a deal with our automated deal maker in 6 months. 6 months. Do one deal in 6 months and send us a copy of your check, and you'll be using our system for free. This is limited, all right? I only give this to the action takers, so be one of the first 10s getting started. That's a $2,500 value right there alone. So what are you getting? You're getting everything. You're getting the deal maker, the branding ladder, the step-by-step training, the quick starts, the unlimited access to my team, software updates, realtor attraction system, automated deal maker license, my virtual assistance training, my free lead generator, my bonus package, plus my 6 months to get it all back at $16,000 in values. Yours today, everything for $995. You need to take some action. Plus, I'm going to throw in something that will really help you guys get to where you need to be. It's a $3,000 bonus. It's a 4-day Advanced Quick Cash Academy. This will give you admission for 2 to my annual 4-day Advanced Quick Cash Academy. We'll teach you how to use 6 quick cash strategies that work in today's market and how to use the internet to buy and sell houses without ever getting out of bed. What do we cover? Setting up your business. I go in depth on market segmentation, how to find sellers online, how to find buyers online, building your list on autopilot, using social sites and group sites, working with virtual assistants, using virtual closers, the 6 quick cash strategies that you need to be working on, how we raise private money, using AdWords campaigns, and much, much more. And I want you to bring your partner, your guest, your kid, whatever you want to bring with you, bring them to this event because I want to train them as well. If you live in Canada, it works in Canada too, okay? So who wants me to pay you to use my system? Just like I did all these other members just like you. Isn't that a beautiful thing? I'll literally pay you. I could say who wants it for free, right? That's what everybody else says, but I'm not really doing things for free. But I'll pay you to work with me. I think there's more vested interest that way, right? So everything you see right here, guys, the whole enchilada, you get all this shipped to your house, and you start immediately. Okay, but you got to go to webinarwithzack.com/Stacy or just call our office. Now, here's the deal, all right? If you want me to pay you, then you just need to follow the no-brainer guarantee. Do one deal in 6 months, and I'll be paying you to use this system. It's that easy. It's like a no-brainer thing, just like I've done for many other people. But listen, some of you might still be on the fence. I'm running out of time here also with you guys. And you might be just kind of contemplating, you know, that you wish you could have it. You just don't have the whole $995. And I get that. And I want to help you too. I want to make sure everybody has an opportunity to take this home. So I want to change your life also. So I'm going to finance you. To get started today, all you got to do is put down $597. That's it. Just put down one payment of $597, and then we'll bill you one more payment of $597 in 30 days. So that's how you can get started with us right now. As easy as that. Jump on board, guys. Get involved. Get started. Take action, and you'll get everything you see on the screen there, plus much more when you start working with our team, knowing that you have your buyers in place. So, Stacy, I've given them everything I got here, bud.
Man, you gave them everything in the kitchen sink, man. I didn't even know you were going to go all out like that. I appreciate it, though. Guys, you absolutely need to take Zack up on this. Again, go to webinarwithzack.com/Stacy. And, Zack, you said those extra bonuses, those fast action bonuses, those are for the first 10. Is that right?
Yes, it is.
Those are for
I
the
can't do all the
that take action.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I want to let you know we've already got Bill, Dale, and Sarah on board. So there aren't 10 anymore, man. There are what's that? 7. There's 7 left. So you guys get off the fence. Go to webinarwithzack.com/Stacy, and you don't need to call in and find out if you're one of the first 10, like Zack said. The webinar, the website will have a pop-up that will appear if you're number 11 or after, and it'll say, sorry, the first 10 are gone. So if you don't see that, you don't need to call in and take up one of our operators' time. Just ask them if you're one of the first 10. But Zack, man, like I said, you gave them everything and the kitchen sink. You're basically giving them 3 software applications in one. I mean, just one of them is worth what you're charging here today. And not only that, to have access to your team and to be able to partner with you on deals is absolutely priceless. And guys, again, I've known Zack for years. In fact, Zack was at my very first live event that I ever did. He was there helping me put it on because he just knows the business inside and out, and I was scared to death. My knees were knocking at my very first live event, but it was a great little event, wasn't it, Zack? We had about 120 or so people there.
Yeah.
And that's when I met Zack, and that's when I realized I'd never met Zack before, and he showed me what he was doing, and I was like, oh, wow. This guy has his act together. Not only that, he's just a good old Southern boy just like me, so we hit it off. And he's absolutely the real deal. He's not afraid to get out there and learn new things and stay on the cutting edge and use technology in his business, and that's exactly what he's done. He's offering to share that with you. So if you haven't done your first deal yet, Zack is there's no better person to do your first deal with than with a guy like Zack. So get over to webinarwithzack.com/Stacy right now and get your order in. Hey, Zack, I know we've gone, we're pushing up on the limits of today's training session, but we've got some questions that have come in. Do you have a few minutes to answer a couple questions?
Time. What you got there, man?
All right, cool. Let's see. We got this one in, and this is a great question. Does this system send out full contracts or just LOIs? And LOI is a letter of intent.
Yeah, it actually does both, and so that's the beauty of what this does. It'll send out a full. We have I think it's a 3 or 4 page contract in there, and then we also have LOIs in there, so they can choose whichever one they want to send out.
Okay. All right. Very cool. And guys, again, speaking of LOIs, man, when I sitting here listening to you talk about this system, I'm thinking, I can't help but think to myself, I wish that this had been around back in 2000, 2001, 2002, when I was literally looking at 50 to 60 houses a day, every single day back then with my real estate agents. We'd drive around, and I would put an offer in on every single one, and it was a pain in the butt. We got it down to where I just started sending out LOIs because it just took so long to fill out a contract and an offer for each one. We just started filling out LOIs because when you're doing 50 or 60, but we still had to sit there in my real estate agent's office and write them out by hand, 50 or 60 of them. If you've never done that, your hand will cramp up at the end of it, even though you're just filling in the blanks.
That's all we send to, LOIs, LOIs, LOIs.
Yeah. And so we had to do it by hand back in the day, and I wish that there had been my real estate agent back then, his name was Vernon. And Vernon, he loved me and he hated me. He loved me because we made money together, but he knew we were going to send out hundreds of LOIs. And if we had this back then, Vernon would have loved me even more. This stuff works. So man, this is awesome stuff, Zack. Let's see. I want to say congratulations to Joe and Tim. We got 5. That's it. We got 5 people who have already taken action, Zack. That's awesome, man. Welcome, Zack. I know that Zack's looking forward to working with you guys. Okay, let me see. Zack, this is a question that came in, and this is a good question. Is this a completely web-based system?
Yes, it is. That's the beauty of it. And so I don't want you to worry about, having to download anything to your computers. We don't deal with any of that. It's all web-based.
Okay. All right. Very cool. All right. Here's a great question. I like this question a lot. Does this take the place of direct mail? This is obviously someone who's spent some time and money on direct mail, probably.
Absolutely. Direct mail can be super expensive. And so the answer to that is no, it doesn't take the place of direct mail, but it can absolutely, well, I guess, how do I say it in an easy format for you? If you're just starting out and you don't have a heavy budget, then yes, this would replace the direct mail. But if you've got a heavy budget and you can do direct mail and this, do both. But if you're just starting out, this will absolutely take the place of it because direct mail is just bringing leads in, where this is bringing deals in.
Yeah, absolutely. This is, you hit the nail on the head. This doesn't replace direct mail, but when you're just getting started, this will get you to your first deal less expensively than direct mail will. Direct mail is a fantastic way, and you definitely need to, once you do that first deal, take a percentage of it and set it back for some direct mail. But this Zack system can get you to that first deal without having to incur the heavy expenses that can come along with direct mail. It's a great way to put it. Let's see. Oh, here's a good one. So, Zack, are your user settings completely customizable?
Yes, they are. We can set all the user settings specific to you and the property, depending on the buyer information and so forth. So it's all customizable inside what we call the back office.
Okay. All right, very cool. And I can tell you guys, Zack is one of those guys. I said this at the beginning of the call, and if you missed it, Zack is a systems guy. I can tell you right now, this is an absolutely complete, foolproof system because Zack uses it in his business every single day. And Zack doesn't put anything out that doesn't just run like a top. He's worked all the bugs out of it by using it in his own real estate business. So you don't have to worry about any of that. It's Zack's got this thing humming and purring and firing on all cylinders. All right, let's see. We've got time for a couple more. Let me see here. This is a good one on follow-up. Zack, how many times should I follow up with a property?
Yeah, what we found is that a minimum of 2 to 3. You should never just send one offer. If you send an offer, you should always back it up with at least a second or third offer. So minimum would be 2, but our minimum in our office is always 3 offers.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't agree more. The follow-up is super, super important. And I've lost some properties, and I know you probably have too. And I've lost properties by not following up with them and then going back and seeing that in some cases the bank actually ended up accepting a lower offer than my first offer, which the bank originally rejected, and then 90 or 120 days later, some other guy comes in with a lower offer than mine. 90 or 120 days later, and the bank took his offer, but they rejected mine 90 days earlier, and I lost it because I forgot to follow up with it. It's been a while since I've lost one like that, but that happened to me in the early days, and that's so frustrating, isn't it, Zack?
Yes, it is.
It's unbelievably frustrating. All right, and I know the answer to this is absolutely yes, but Zack, do you offer training and support for your software after they get up running?
Yeah, that's a big thing that we pride on is that, because we are a 9-to-5 organization and we have people in the office all week. They're there to support people. They're always answering tickets that come in. If they can't get the ticket answered, they'll pick up the phone and call the student. So we're there, and our training goes on every Tuesday night for the rest of their lives. So we have what's called a 2-month training cycle. So we teach for 2 months every Tuesday night at 6 p.m. Central Time Zone, and then it starts over again. And then we teach the cycle again for another 2 months, and then we start over again, and we keep going. And we have done that for literally the last almost 4.5 years. So.
And I can tell you from my personal experience with Zack is all about support. He is there for you. He and his team want to help you, and they want you to be successful. And when you're with them, you're with a part of a family. And that's exactly how Zack looks at you. You become part of Zack's family, and they're going to make sure that no stone is left or no answer is left or no question is left unanswered. You will have access to all of the support that you need so that you can become as successful as you want, and Zack will help you every step of the way. Hey, Zack, we've got a couple more orders that come in. I want to welcome Kim and Steve into the fold, and if I remember, we're sitting at about 7 orders right now, 7 out of 10. So, guys, do yourself a favor. Get over to webinarwithzack.com/Stacy, or give us a call at 866-592-2429, extension 1. You don't have anything to lose. You have everything to gain and nothing to lose, because Zack and I are backing this with our full 30-day money-back guarantee. If it's not everything that Zack said that it is, then you can just send it back for a full refund. Give it a shot for 30 days. Call us on the 30th day and just say, hey, guys, I give it a shot. I didn't, for whatever reason, it wasn't what I wanted, and we will refund every single penny of your investment today. But you owe it to yourself. You owe it to your family to get started with Zack. There's no one better to get started with than Zack, and let him show you, let him help you become as successful as you want to be, so that you can go on those 30-day long vacations with your loved ones, with your significant other, with your wife or your husband, and find out what it's really like to make money while you sleep, make money while you're on vacation, just to be a money-making machine and have money flowing at you from everywhere. It's a fantastic feeling, and Zack is the man who can get you there. So shoot over to webinarwithzack.com/Stacy right now. Zack, man, we're pushing up on the time constraints for today's training session. Do you have any last words before we sign off?
I just want to say congratulations for all of you that have taken action and believing in me, and I take a lot of heart to that, and I will absolutely take you under my wing and show you what we do and help you guys get where you need to be. And I just can't wait to get all of you in a live room and show you, what we do, and lay it out for 4 days with you, because you get tickets to that. And, it's just going to be a great journey together, and I look forward to working with everyone. I'm excited, and thanks for having me, Stacy.
Absolutely. Thank you for taking time away from your family. I won't say out of your busy schedule, because any man who can go on vacation for 30 days isn't that busy. That's the way, that's the lifestyle that we all should aspire to. And we really ought to get your wife on here to tell the story about how she lit that fire into you by saying, I'm going on vacation for 30 days. You can either stay here or you can come with me. She's the one that we should all be thanking. So thank you to your wife for making you figure this out. That's awesome. Well, Zack, again, man, yeah, thanks so much for sharing this. I wish this thing would have been around 10 years ago, and but it wasn't. But it's here now, and you can take advantage of it now, and you can get to work with Zack and let Zack teach you how to go on 30-day vacations. So get over to webinarwithzack.com/Stacy and get signed up and get Zack's help. He can help you get where you want to go. So again, Zack, thanks so much, and we'll talk to you real soon.
Thanks, bud.